Maybe I can, because I'll be pointed this way and I can keep an eye on chat as well. All right, we're live. We're live. Now, time to be entertaining.
Good.
Cameron Fath. Man, 19.4, man. We got 20K soon. Yeah,
Excited.
Maybe today. Maybe today.
Maybe today.
Tony! Good to see you, Tones. Tones Ballones. Congratulations, Tony. You and that red beret are going places. You're in an airborne unit now. Airborne's
All the way.
red, right?
Yeah,
Maroon. Oh, okay.
Maroon.
Oh man, did I get the color wrong? Oh man, I get the color wrong.
You need to get with it.
That cost me a couple $100, man. Good to see you, Poet. How you doing, team? Sorry we're a little late today. It's Cameron's fault.
Yeah, it's all blame me. If you're gonna blame someone, blame me.
Dramey, good to see you. Hello, Osmi. Hello, Osmi. Hello, Mini Massive. Oh my gosh, it has been a long time. Where you been, man? Let me guess, school and or work. And you've been really busy. Raggedy Beast, good to see you. Axis. Wait, Axis, you're somebody else, right? Are you... You changed your name recently. Is that you? Kodiak, is that you? Jellybean, yay! Jellybean Cameron's here. I know you're don't tell your boyfriend. I know you were fangirling out a little bit. Or maybe your boyfriend shouldn't tell you. Maybe your boyfriend shouldn't tell you that he was fanboying over Cameron.
I prefer the boyfriend.
She sent me a DM. She's like, when time is Cameron gonna be on? Ooh. How you doing, Bell Bottoms? For Iron to Toast. Good afternoon, everybody. Sorry we're a little late today. Oh my gosh, Newmeister. Hello. Newmeister. It's been a
Meister.
It's been a hot minute, my friend. Meister J. DJ Meister J. Kodiak, that's right. Okay. Luke, good to see you. Grissom. Aw, Grissom, look at you. Bass Dude. Halo. Oh, everybody's showing up today. Everybody shows up for Cameron. That's fine. I see how it is.
Okay.
I see how it is, folks.
It's okay. We all
Show
know
for
who
me.
the favorite is.
Cameron.
Yep.
Dat Canine Guy. Good to see you. Good afternoon. Gents, very polite. Dat Canine Guy. Met Venus, good to see you. I hope it'll be fun too, Met Venus. Now the pressure's on. Thanks a lot. The Gunner, good to see you. Radiant, good to see you, Zealot. Awesome Snake. So we have Awesome Snake, and then we have another Snake. See Fath in the Hizzy. My knees rizzles. You go to final rated Jelly. No, I'm sorry, Jelly. Oh, we're gonna have to, Amy, if you can go in and turn off point redemptions for our puppet friends for now, just while Cameron's here. I don't want to cause any conflicts between Fisticuffs and Cameron.
Oh, that's good. Because I got that guy's freaking number.
You're about to find out. It's going to be fun, folks. Cameron's going to teach a class for us today.
It's going to be good.
This is for me primarily, but you guys are along for the ride, so.
Yes,
good to
I'm
see you,
here to
HP, bravo.
teach.
That's right. Can you guys hear Cameron?
You hear me okay? Give me a thumbs up in the chat if you're happy to be here, because I am.
I'm happy Cameron's here. We just spent the whole morning recording some great podcasts. Halo, good to see you. Oh my gosh, RE8. Oh, great. Thank you, Amy. Thank you. That's probably a good idea.
Thanks, Jelly.
Good opportunity. Does Cameron ever say he's just fathing around? Do you ever say that?
I say I can run father. Run father
Run
than you.
father? I can run faster than you? Sarah's fangirling out.
Nice.
Yeah, slow mo's a good idea.
Perfect.
Grissom, I knew it. I knew everyone was just here. There's people here that are never here, except when Cameron's here.
That's good. Get your Fath fill of the day.
Can you teach us how to be cool, Cameron? Grissom?
No, that is, you're born with that. Sorry.
You have an Airsoft Mark 18. I'm thinking of going to a Daniel Defense or Geisley.
Handguard. Good. Geisley Handguard is outdating the Daniel Defense, so I'd go with that. If you can get your hands on one.
All right, you sound good. That's all the thumbs up.
Yeah.
That was your question.
Perfect.
Can you hear us?
Yep.
Hello, Ukraine! Wow, Ukraine!
Mm.
Lord Papi Papad. Papi Papi Pad. People Papi Papi.
Ma.
We are live as Izzy plays Season Winners. That's gonna happen later, so Cameron's gonna do. Oh, okay. Here we go.
Boom!
It's us.
It's us. Hello, in the flesh.
Folks, Cameron's going to teach a class for us, and we'll do some small unit tactics class. And then after it's all said and done, I'll go.
Play some video.
Oh, Drew, thank you for joining the Happy Fam, my friend. Thank you for the Prime sub, my friend. I appreciate that very much. It's very kind of you, folks. How is our voice compared to the music? How are the levels? Do we look pretty good?
Are we here?
I want to bet that I can deadlift 100 kilograms.
Do it.
You won that, but he did it. Don't get lost in the sauce, Cam. Iron for Two Toes says.
When you get lost in the sauce, you're lost.
I trimmed it a little bit. I just trimmed it. It's not going anywhere.
He's not going full pig.
I just makes my face look fat.
No, it doesn't.
I'm like a little girl.
Like a warrior.
Makes me look like a bushy. Do I look like a marauder?
Yes, a pagan
Viking,
marauder.
pagan marauder Viking. That's a legitimately accepted religion in the army, folks.
Yes,
You can
it
be
allows you to grow
a
your
marauder
beard.
pagan.
Religious exemption.
What? He's fine. It's a fine chair. It's a fine
good.
chair. Yeah.
And posture. It's
yeah.
a good lumbar
I know.
support.
I need to worry about that.
It's good.
Fuga Sleet. Oh my gosh, Fuga. All our wonderful friends coming around for Cameron. I get it. It's fine. No, it's fine. I don't even care. Winchester man, how you doing, Cam? How you living?
Living large. Living
Hashtag
like Larry.
leave it alone. Dat K9. We're required to have an ice bucket in the corner in case we fall asleep.
No, if you fall asleep during my class, you will have to stand on your hands the majority of the rest.
That's right. That's right.
So, stay awake.
Oh, awesome Snake. Thank you for the gift sub, my friend. Thank you for gifting that sub to Bell Bottoms. That's amazing. Oh, thanks. I got the standard Kit God, the special Kit God gear in
Standard
today.
issue.
That's right. Standard issue. Milsom, good to see him. Oh my gosh, Milsom, good to see you. Cam, did your parents change your last name when they met Mike Tyson and he couldn't pronounce the original name fast?
Yes, that's actually exactly how it went down.
Oh,
Were you there?
Fath?
Were you there?
You run fast?
Damn, that kid's so fat.
Oh, Zen, thank you for the 5 gift subs. That's amazing.
Wunderbar.
Yeah, folks, we're going to do a little class today. We're going to do a class with Cam. This is like legit Army training stuff. This is stuff that I need to relearn from my days in. I've forgotten a lot. Zen, thank you. That's very kind of you, my friend. That's amazing. Thank you for the gift sub, folks. If you got a gift sub from Zen, please thank them. That's amazing. Thanks. My friending Cam. Commander Cactus, good to see you.
Thank you.
Missing Izzy.
Happy to be here, my happy fam. I'm excited to go ahead and teach you guys some.
What are we going to learn today, Cam?
So, I'm going to start with the basics. I'm going to go over some really baseline, just as far as composition of an infantry squad.
Okay.
So just everything that I'm going to teach can be taken from the Ranger School handbook. So there's nothing classified here. It's all basic knowledge to help you in a squad environment. And if you follow these principles I'm going to go over, you will always be successful, and no matter what patrol you're doing.
Nice. That's great. Let's get started here in just a second.
Land nav. That's that's a different class. That'll be fun. I love land nav.
We could do a land nav class. I remember, if I remember anything, I remember a little bit of land nav. Hey, 20 rows. Thank you for the 7 months. That's amazing. 20 rows. You've been around for. I remember you 20 rows. I remember when you were around for just like 2 or 3 months. Thanks for sticking around. Fun to watch you. I'm glad you could all together YouTube. Hope y'all are having a good Monday. Thanks, 20 rows. I appreciate that. Thank you for the resub. I appreciate you guys. I appreciate everybody here. Halloween boy, good to see ya. Amras. Yeah.
Good evening, everybody.
Hi, Cameron. Oh, hi. Yeah, thanks. Thanks, Amras. Yeah, I'm here too. All right.
Izzy.
It's my stream.
Yeah. It's okay. Nobody can ever bully me, bell bottoms.
Newt Meister, take care. You know I'll always be here for you. Come back anytime, okay? You need formation tactics? Kodiak?
That's what we're going to go over.
All right.
And we're going to go over basic squad formations that I utilize a lot in a squad, and then we're going to go over principles of patrolling. Super easy stuff, and maybe we'll throw in a battle drill.
All right, cool. So, folks, how it's going to go is, just so you know, I'm actually going to be trying to pay attention, and we'll repost this later on YouTube, but I really need to learn some stuff. So if I seem less active in chat, just so you know, it's just because I'm trying to pay attention, okay? Kato, good to see you.
This is supposed to be a private lesson with Israel, but we thought it would be a good idea.
I know.
Let me take it back. Israel thought it would be a great idea for you guys to sit in and listen. So he's going to be learning.
Yeah.
And I hope you guys learn something too. If you're going to use it, great. If you don't, I don't care.
I love that. Yeah, you guys. I wanted to bring you in on the action because I know you guys like this kind of stuff. Mm-hmm. This is a big, military tactics weapons. That's big in this community, so I wanted to share this with you. Tony, I love the badge. Thank you so much. Battle drones, battle drills. All right, folks. What do you say? You want to get going?
Yeah, I'll jump up
Fabi,
to the
good to see you.
whiteboard, man.
Thank you for the hype train, team. Base dude. We got a hype train. Let's do it, team. All right, so we're gonna transition. Let me. I'm gonna switch the camera over so you can see what Cameron's doing. Give me 1 second, real quick. Talk amongst yourselves. I'll give you a topic. Good. Don't come around here no more. Whatever you're looking for. Hey! Don't come around here no more. Oh, I'm not going to teach Fugue Sleep. It's going to be Cameron teaching. All right, team. Folks, can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? How we doing, team? Can we hear you? Okay, all right,
Okay,
good.
More
All right,
importantly,
folks.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, can you guys hear Cameron?
Can you hear me? Okay, I apologize about the audio, folks. As long as you can hear me, I'm more concerned that you can see this board, and I realize that the writing is a little messy and it's a little small, but I'm going to be talking about everything on this board. So, just for clarification purposes, everything that I'm going to be discussing is all public knowledge. It can all be accessed on the internet. It can all be accessed in TC, for reference, TC 3-21.76. So that sounds like a mouthful, but with that publication, it is a training curriculum 321.76, and that's just a fancy word for Ranger School Handbook, right? So the Ranger School Handbook is the TC 321.76, and like I said, all this information can be found in that publication. You can order it online. It's all public information. So, talking about the basics today, right?
1 second.
Oh yeah, okay. We're waiting. This class is for Israel. So if you learn something, great. I'm stoked. If you're an airsofter, all of this can be applied to your airsofting team. Bring it back. Take notes if you want. If you don't, that's great. I'm just happy you're listening to this information.
How's the audio now, folks? How's the audio sound?
Is it better?
All right, good.
Okay, much better. Great. So, before we get into all these fancy squad formations I have on the left side of the board, I'm going to talk about something extremely important. I'm going to talk about the principles of patrolling. Q, oohs, and ahs.
Ooh, ah.
Thank you, Israel. Okay, so the principles of patrolling, there's 5 principles of patrolling. These used and applied during any sort of patrol will usher success if used properly, right? Some of them are more important than other ones, but I'm going to fill them in as we go through them. Excuse me.
Now you were talking about this earlier, and I want to remember that. I know there's an acronym to remember these, but it's an inappropriate acronym.
In the military, we all know military likes to use acronyms, right? And for principles of patrolling, there's 5. It's PRSCC, and to remember that, we have a phrase. But due to the standards,
the wholesomeness standards
of Israel's podcast, we have to improvise a little bit. And to help me remember these, it's Puerto Ricans. What did we agree?
Sliced chickens.
Sliced chickens confidently. Constantly and confidently,
yeah.
right? If you can use your brain and think about Puerto Ricans S-ing C's constantly.
Slicing those C's constantly.
Yeah. So that's an easy way to remember this. But going towards it and moving on, our first principle of patrolling is going to be, you guessed it, planning, right? Pre-mission plan, super important. The who, what, the 5 W's, right? The who, what, when, where, and how, or why, right?
Yeah, who, what, when, where, why, yeah.
Who, what, when, where, why. We have a good plan.
That's within planning.
Within planning.
The who, what, when, where, why is
it
within
comes
planning.
Within planning.
Okay, all right.
So planning is going to be the first thing that we do, right? So a good plan, a really well thought out plan will benefit the patrol because everybody knows what's going on and everybody has a baseline information of how this plan is, or how this mission is going to run, right? So after planning, what comes next? If you think about it,
reconnaissance.
All right. Exactly. There you go. The
next
next principle of patrolling,
reconnaissance.
Recon.
Reconnaissance.
Recon. Sorry, my handwriting and my spelling. I was a ranger. Remember, we kill, we don't spell. So we have planning, and then we have reconnaissance. Reconnaissance is a huge part of this, right? Because before we can even, hit that target, or before we can really conduct the mission properly, we need to have some sort of eyes on the ground, right? Is there any questions so far?
Within each of these, there's like sub actions that you're doing, obviously. Right?
So this isn't like an op order, which an op order for everyone listening is like an operations order. This is just something we keep in the back of our mind to make sure, like, did we check these boxes?
Yeah,
this isn't an actual physical thing that's going on.
All right, cool.
But it's all considerations, right?
Mm-hmm.
So after reconnaissance, we get eyes on objective, and this is like before the mission. Say we already kicked out on the patrol before we actually conduct the raid, or if you're doing an actual reconnaissance, you do a reconnaissance of that objective, right? So like you would, if I'm on patrol and I stop in what's known as an ORP, objective rally point, that's like a stop before we hit the objective. I'll kick out a small reconnaissance team to get eyes on the objective, to let me know, hey, are we in the right spot? Considerations, number of enemy combatants, vehicles, basically confirming if the information that we received during the plan is correct, right? So reconnaissance a big component of this. So we got planning, we got reconnaissance. Can you guess what S would be?
Planning, reconnaissance.
What do we need at all times?
Security. All right. Good to see you, folks. Sorry if I'm not paying attention so much to chat. I can see you right here as well, but I'm trying to pay attention to class as well. So.
Okay. And then we'll take little breaks here and look at the chat to see what people want.
Right on.
So security's huge. It's arguably the second most important thing out of these principles, right? Because as long as you have security, you're set.
Yeah.
Your plane can go to crap. Can I say that?
Yeah, crap is okay.
Okay. Your plane can go to crap, not the S word.
Duty.
It can go to, yeah, it can go there. Sorry, I really want to say bad words. Everybody knows this is my thing.
Cameron, hydrate. Take a drink of your coffee.
Thank you. Hydrate hour. Okay. The plane can go to crap. We won't recon anything. We don't see anything on a recon. But as long as we have security, we're safe, right?
Yeah.
We can do anything from that as long as we have security. So that, in my opinion, second most important. All right. So now we have planning, we have reconnaissance, we have security. What do you think the first C would be?
Planning, reconnaissance, security, command?
What does
command and
control
have? Control?
Control.
Oh, control. Okay.
Control. We need to have control of all moving pieces, right? So we establish security, or we kick out of our plan, right? We conduct recon, we push out security. I know where everybody is, right? I have accountability and I have control of every single movement that I've pushed out. I control all my weapons, and I control all my packs that are in the patrol, right?
That's control in your base, and then control outside when you're doing reconnaissance at every point.
Exactly, and it's like as long as I'm and control can be like establishing comms, making sure that there's a pace plan, which a pace plan is primary, alternate, contingency, extreme, right? Emergency, and that's like okay, in case my radio doesn't work, that was primary control. Then we go to alternate, which is, visual, so like doing hand and arm signals. And then if hand and arm signals don't work, a contingency, and that would be like, okay, sending a runner. And then emergency would be like, everybody pick up and move. So like, basically just establishing units of control, right? Just how do I do this? How do I make sure I have control of everything moving around?
All right.
So that's that one. So now we've covered planning, reconnaissance, security, control, and our last C is it is not arguably, it is the most important principle out of all of these.
Communication?
Think about it, man. What do I want? Remember how I'm like, we don't want soldiers to be robots. We want us to be free thinkers.
Yeah.
So what do you need? What do you need?
You need common sense?
You need common sense,
Oh, okay. All right. Wow. Man, this is definitely stuff I've forgotten.
Absolutely. I'm going to put a star next to that one. Sorry for that M, looks weird. But,
Common sense.
You need common sense.
You need Roger Corman sense.
You need common sense. Common sense is the most critical principle out of all of these. Because you can have security, right? But what if my security's in the dumbest spot ever? It makes no sense.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it makes no sense, right?
Yeah.
And I could have a plan, but if the plan doesn't make sense, that's a bad plan.
Yeah.
Yeah, so literally, control, as long as I can establish common sense, I'll be fine. Common sense is literally the most important thing. If it doesn't make, say it's like you read something in doctrine, right, and it doesn't make any sense to you, would you still try to do it?
No.
Probably not, right?
Yeah.
You want something, and this is, at the end of the day, everything that is in doctrine, that's in writing, that's like in the field manuals, whatnot, some of it doesn't make perfect sense in the situation that you're in.
Mm-hmm.
So as long as you can justify your actions with common sense, and you have the security to support it, you should be successful.
Oh, nice, man.
So all of these together, planning, reconnaissance, security, control, common sense, as long as they are applied to patrol, you will have a good patrol.
Okay.
Regardless of what happens.
Nice. Let's take a little break.
Yeah, let's take a little break and we'll talk about it.
Yeah. So, what do you think so far, folks? Do we have any questions? I got the mic kind of right here, so it's a little bit like out of the way, so. Oh, jeez. Let me just put that in your face.
Oh. So what do you guys think of that?
What do you guys think? Is this new news? Is this old news? What do you think? I was writing! Classic. That's right. We're together.
Yeah, so this is extremely important, right? Even though it's not like fancy stuff, this is literally in the back of every ranger's mind, every, platoon leader's mind, every squad leader's mind as they're out there conducting a mission, right? Because these things will keep people alive. These things will keep people on track. And these things will keep the mission oriented towards the direction of success.
It's going good, Dalton. We're doing a class today. We're just taking a quick break. How does this apply to my common life? Well, I feel like the most common thing that kind of the idea that encapsulates some of this when you're trying to keep yourself safe is situational awareness. Mm-hmm. Like if you're just situationally aware of where you're at, and what you're doing and who's there and stuff like that, I feel like some of these are, I'm thinking in terms of like self-defense.
Yeah, think of, and how does this apply to your common life? In a lot of ways it doesn't, but some of these principles you need regardless. Say you're in a workforce, right? And what do you need being part of any team is you need common sense, right? You might not need security if you're going to the office every day, unless you're working in the middle of the hood or something.
Yeah.
But as long as you need common sense, right? You don't just do things without them making any sense. So in some of these principles apply to everyday life. Majority of this actually it applies directly to a combat patrol, right? Which obviously you guys aren't doing because luckily you're not in a war. So but you can pick and take things out of this. Like say me leaving the house, downtown LA, a little bit of a dangerous spot. In my mind I'm always thinking about security, control, and common sense. Right? I have security if I'm do I have a concealed weapon on me, or like maybe just a pocket knife to protect myself, right? All right, that's my security. I'm in control of everything I'm doing, right? If I'm driving down the road, I'm looking left and right to see if there's vehicles on the left or right of me. So if I have to stop or I have to swerve out of the way, I know I have an escape route. I'm in control of that situation. And also, most importantly, I'm when I'm making decisions every day in a normal life, I'm utilizing common sense, right? So if you're wondering how this applies to your everyday life, you can. Most of it doesn't. Some of it doesn't, but some of it does.
Yeah. Red wants to know, how do you train to determine if someone is hostile or not? Well, I mean, usually you have a lot of reconnaissance. You have a lot of information on the place that you'll be going to, you know? And sometimes, like when I was in Iraq, that was one of the hard parts is you know that there's insurgents out there. You know, roughly where they're at, but obviously they look like anybody else. They don't dress in a uniform anymore, you know?
I mean, if you want to apply the principles there, you do reconnaissance, right? Just like Israel was saying. So a lot of the time, like, not in a patrol, but an actual reconnaissance patrol, they'll send out recon elements before an actual infantry size platoon or a company goes to an objective, and they're collecting, intelligence, and they're conducting surveillance, and they can determine whether, information that comes down from, like, what's called an S3, which is like the S shop that gives you, that's pretty much the military intelligence. Like, that's where you're collecting all your intelligence from, is your S3 shop. And your reconnaissance, you're trying to confirm or deny that intelligence that you're coming out. So say they got like a description of people, you're going out there to determine enemy composition, whether the enemy is working with civilians, whether the civilians, are being armed by the enemy. Dude, it's endless stuff. So
it's a constantly evolving environment.
And the biggest thing is, what your ROE, what it comes down to, an ROE is going to be rules of engagement, right? If you see somebody, if somebody picks up a weapon in there, what's known as a MAM, a military-aged male, it's safe to assume that they are gonna, use that weapon not for good. But it all depends on escalation of force, right? If they just pick up a weapon and run, they might be just trying to pick up a weapon and run. But then again, that person can come back around and, cause harm to your patrol. But that goes down to use common sense.
Yeah. Common sense, boy.
Common sense.
Not so common. Yes, Forky, you can use this for the revolution. Absolutely.
Yes.
All right, folks. Well, why don't we get back into it? Oh, my gosh. Wait a second. Mr. Unknown just gifted 10 subs to the community. Mr. Unknown. That's amazing, my friend. That is truly a generous offer, or a generous gift to us. I appreciate that, Mr. Unknown. That's amazingly kind of you. Folks, if you got a gift sub from Mr. Unknown, I'm guessing it's a guy. You never know these days. But thank you. Thank them profusely. Thank you. That's amazing. Oh my gosh. Thank you. Hype it up for Mr. Unknown. That's awesome. Gootman Joe, thank you for your 6 months, my friend. Oh, Gootman Joe, you got gifted one. Okay, cool. Or did you? No, you subbed as well. Thank you, Mr. Unknown. That's amazing. Real MVP. Mr. Unknown's the real MVP.
Real MVP here. Are you ready to jump back into it, man?
Let's do it, Mr.
Are you ready to jump back into it?
Folks, forgive me for moving on, Mr. Unknown. Thank you again. 10 subs. That's awesome. Let's go back to the class, folks.
Okay.
Hold on a second.
Switch over to me. Give me your attention.
All right.
Please excuse me. I'm drinking out of my Tigger mug. Okay. So we went over principles of patrolling, right? Pretty straightforward. Puerto Ricans slice chickens constantly, right? Just remember that. And if you want to Google it, it will probably come back something different. But anyways, moving on. And like I said, I'm going to keep referring to this training curriculum. 321.76. It's the Ranger School Handbook. You could buy it off Amazon. You could get it. It's public knowledge. Everything that I'm going over here is in this publication, which is just a Ranger School Handbook. And the TC 321.76, that's just the Army's way how to label it. Okay? So, we're going to move on to squad formations, moving to objectives.
All right.
So basically, one thing that I think is really important when considering squad formations is each formation has a strength and a weakness.
Oh, okay.
Right. So what really is going to dictate what formation you're moving in as a squad or a platoon is going to be, what do you think?
Terrain?
Absolutely.
Okay,
terrain. Right? Terrain is going to 100% dictate the type of formation you're traveling in. Now, I have 2 formations here. There's much more, but the 2 I have highlighted are the most utilized one. There's an additional one that's on here, but it's pretty straightforward, and I'll just go over it once I finish that one, because I don't think that needs to be illustrated. It's pretty. I mean, squad column formation, that's probably the easiest transition to the third one that I'm going to cover. But anyways, talking more basics, breaking this down, these are in squads. Typically, we'll have 4 squads in a platoon. And this is Army lingo, right? The Marine Corps does it differently.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, the Marine Corps does it completely different. Army infantry, the platoon is composed of 4 squads. 3 of them are line squads, and 1 of them is a weapon squad. So weapon squad will literally do their own thing. Meaning like they can either be what we call weapons attached, where the weapon squad is disseminated to each of the 3 line squads.
Okay. Or
they could be within the platoon.
What's the size of a squad and what's the size of a platoon?
Okay, so typically, it's all going to depend on the weapon squad, because I've had a lot of weapon squads, and not to mention in the 75th Ranger Regiment, we will run 3 machine guns versus conventional Army, they only run 2.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. So typically in the 75th Ranger Regiment, we will have 3 240 Limas with with a AB, which is ammo bearer, or pretty much we use ammo. Yeah. He just carries the ammo.
Ammo female dog.
Yeah. Ammo female dog, the AB, who carries the majority of the ammo, and just a typical M4, and then you have your AG, which is your assistant gunner. And our assistant gunner, and this is all weapon squad specific, your assistant gunner is going to be the team leader of that group. So your gunner, who's going to carry just the big heavy machine gun, the team leader, who's the assistant gunner, will carry the backpack with ammo in it and a tripod and his own personal weapon. It gets heavy. That's what I was overseas, was a gun team leader, yeah. And then the AB will have ammo. So just in that squad, that's 9.
Okay.
And that makes perfect sense because each squad has 9 guys. So 9 times 4.
9 times 4 is 36.
36, right? So in a perfect platoon, you'll have around 36 guys just on the line, not to include your AT section, your platoon sergeant, your PL, your RTO, and your medic. So
wow.
An actual platoon is 40 plus dudes if it's fully
kitted out.
If it's fully maxed out, right?
Okay.
So you'll have let's just go over. So we went over weapon squad, right? But we're just going to talk about line now. Which the line is your guys that are, your door kickers. The ones that are going to be like assaulting the house. The ones that are going to be first in the fight, right?
Yep.
So that is going to be a 9-man squad as well. And that 9-man squad is going to be comprised of 1 squad leader and 2 teams.
Mm-hmm.
And each team... Here we go. Yup. Each team is going to be composed of 4 individuals. Your team leader. Sorry if this is a little small, but I had to fit everything on the board. Each team you'll have your alpha team, your bravo team, and the squad leader in the middle. Typically, your alpha team is comprised of a team leader, an alpha team leader, a saw gunner, which is your automatic rifleman, so the one who carries the M249 saw. Your grenadier, who obviously is going to carry the 40 Mike.
Yeah.
For all my folks out there.
Or could they have an M4 with a 308?
The 320 underneath?
320, yeah.
So it used to be the 203. It
203,
used to be the
M203, yeah.
Right. Then we switched over to the Agent K 320. So if you're used to a 203 and you hear me say 320, it's pretty much the same thing.
Okay.
They're shooting a 40 millimeter projectile. And then a rifleman. So each team comprised of a team leader, an automatic rifleman, a grenadier, and a rifleman. Then you'll have your squad leader who's in charge of both teams, and your Bravo team leader is comprised of the same exact thing. Team leader, saw gunner, grenadier, rifleman. So that's just composition, right? So talking about squad formations. The most commonly used squad formation is going to be your wedge formation. Wedge formation is super straightforward, right? Have you guys ever seen the Mighty Ducks?
Yep.
The Flying V,
the
right?
Flying V, yep.
Flying V, baby. That is exactly what the wedge is. Your alpha team is going to be out front, and they're going to pretty much wedge off of the team leader. So your team leader is going to be in the front. He's in charge of land navigation. He's in charge of pretty much the patrol. And that's a pretty important job, because if the team leader doesn't know where he's going, he's going to get everybody lost, right?
Even, should know the map, and he's kind of guiding in that way, too?
Yeah, so typically the alpha team leader, when you're in your planning phase, he's going to be the one creating the route. And once he creates the primary and alternate route, he's going to bring it to the squad leader, and he's going to be like, hey, is this good? And they're going to be like, yeah, that's perfect. So then the team leader and probably the grenadier is going to be like what they know as a compass man, who just makes sure, and they check each other, and they just make sure they're on the right path, right?
Okay.
But the alpha team leader has a lot of responsibility because he's literally leading the patrol, and he's going to be proficient in land nav, and he's going to be knowing where he's going, and he's going to be stopping, doing map checks. So, team leader's out in the front, and this all depends. It's all situational dependent. Like, you can either have your saw gunner on the left or right side of him, but the grenadier is always going to be opposite.
Okay.
So in this case, I have the saw gunner to my right, and I have my grenadier to the left, and wedged off my grenadier is going to be the rifleman. So the saw will always be by themselves.
Okay.
The reason I have the saw by itself is just because it's the most casualty-producing weapon on the battlefield. It needs to be closest to the team leader because it needs to be utilized the most, and it needs to be controlled the most, right?
Okay, all right.
You have control over your team.
Yeah.
Right? And the planning and these principles of patrolling, they apply to every single person on this. So it's not just the squad leader and the platoon sergeant considering these principles. It's every single individual. So that's why this is so important to understand. So, on the opposite side of the team leader is the grenadier. And why do you think he's close to the team leader?
I mean, it's got maybe the second closest casualty producing weapon.
Exactly.
Okay.
The team leader needs the most casualty producing weapons closest to him because he needs full control over them, right? So
because he's going to meet resistance first. When they hit hostiles, likely he's going to be there. Or
yeah. So I mean, you need to pretty much mobilize your weapons and your fire superiority assets really quickly, right? So the faster your team leader can start, engaging, and obviously if you get in a firefight here, everybody's going to start engaging. But your team leader's job is to start controlling, right? Because if everyone's just firing crazy, you're going to burn ammo. You're going to lose ammo. If everyone's just doing their own thing, something's going to go wrong. So the team leader, his biggest job is controlling his three guys. The rifleman here typically is a litter bearer, so they'll carry medical equipment and the litter on them.
All right.
And but the team leader's main goal is to control his saw's rate of fire and to give the grenadier fire missions so he can do what the grenadier does best and make things explode.
Yeah.
Right? But typically, these guys are free thinkers. They should know what to do, but the team leader's job is just to control, right? And then the squad leader's job is to control the team leader. So it's that boop, 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 that chain of command. It's literally the chain of command here. So after that alpha team, you have your squad leader in the middle, making sure his team leader is on point. And then after, the Bravo team is wedged in an opposite direction behind the squad leader. And the reason we do that is now the Bravo team leader has a saw to his left. And what do you think that is?
Maybe zones of fire?
Exactly.
On either side?
We call it like, if I have to say we're guns attached and I have a 240 rolling with us, the 240 will be off the squad leader.
Oh, okay.
The squad leader is going to place that 240.
Okay.
Say we get in a firefight, that 240 is not going to start rocking.
Okay.
Why do you think that is?
Maybe they need to wait to get some information first so he knows where to place them.
Yes and no.
Well, I mean they can't be right behind their guys, obviously, but
so I mean, typically a fire team, just one team, say alpha team, if they get in a firefight and all of a sudden 240 starts going off, what does that tell the enemy?
Where the most casualty producing weapon is?
This is a squad side.
Oh, okay.
We're fighting a big element.
Oh, okay. All right. They would know
hand.
that. Okay, you're showing your hand.
Exactly. So, I mean, we have a ratio with who we're going to fight. Do you remember what that is?
3-to-1?
3-to-1.
Yeah.
Correct. So, if say it's just one enemy, or even two, we can even push it. Typically, if there's two enemies, you want 6 guys. But, I mean, if you're a full, fire team, you can probably push that.
Okay.
But typically, we want to roll in 3-to-1. So, if that's a small team and we can take it out just as a team without showing, like, I imagine, like, pretty much, think about poker. Like, you don't want to show the other guys if you have, a pair of jacks, or you don't want to show them that you have 2 aces, because otherwise the jig is up, right? They know how to combat that.
Yeah.
So, and they'll fold.
Yeah.
So the squad leader is pretty much, if they get in a real big tick and they need to utilize the entire squad, that squad leader is going to hold the machine gun. But if they do get in a big tick, then that squad leader is either going to push them on the left or right, depending on the way Bravo team is going to flank. So that's where it gets into. But
okay.
But pretty much, just going back to the Bravo team, the reason they have the saw on the left in the Bravo team and the saw on the right in the Alpha team is just like you said, sectors of fire, right? They got a big ass machine gun. Excuse me. They got a big butt machine gun on the right side. We should have a big butt machine gun on the left side to basically maximize our firepower, right? So that's pretty much going to be the most common fire team wedge that you'll see utilized in a patrol, and this pretty much squad is going to be utilized in open terrain.
Open terrain.
Yeah, like rolling hills, plains.
Yeah, I remember this from small unit tactics and stuff. We were in the forest of North Carolina.
Yeah, so like if it's not super condensed, you want to typically run into a wedge because you have the most sectors of fire in a wedge, like pretty much. And then these guys got this covered and this covered and pretty much that covered. So like 360 security in a pretty controllable team, right? Yeah. So if it's pretty open, there's a couple trees, we'll use a wedge. Now say it gets a little bit more hairy. Say the terrain gets really closer and less restrictive, or we end up traveling on a road. We're going to transition to a squad column fire team wedge. Okay. And you also probably remember this as ruck formation.
Ruck formation, ruck formation, yep.
And all of these have handed arm signals too. So the handed arm signal for wedge is hang loose.
Okay. Oh, okay. Loose, yeah, that means wedge. That means we're going into a wedge. Yeah. Let's take a break real quick, Cameron. Okay. Because we got some good questions.
Okay.
First one is, why can't we all just talk and be friends with the enemy, Cameron?
Because
people are bad. Sometimes people just got to be shot in the face. So that's the only way.
Yes.
What is the best distance between teammates when you're patrolling?
Okay, so it's going to depend on whether you're in daytime or nighttime. So daytime is typically 10 to 15 meters from your buddy.
Okay.
And then nighttime is 5 to 10 meters because you're under low vis and you can get lost real fast. So and at nighttime under nods, especially if you're in conventional army and you're using like a PVS 14, which is just a single eye versus a double, you're pretty much visual impaired at that point. So coming closer together is going to give you a little bit more control. Okay. But during the daytime, 10 to 15 meters. And that's a great question to a great point. Do you remember the kill radius of a frag grenade?
5 meters.
5 meters.
5 meters. About 15 feet?
It's like 35 meters is how far a person can typically throw a frag grenade, right?
Okay.
So that's why when you're assaulting through, you always assault 35 meters past the last dead guy.
Okay.
Because if he wakes up and throws a frag, you're out of his range.
Okay.
But pretty much frag is up to 15 meters, but you want to be at least 5 meters apart because one frag grenade goes off next to me and you, and we're right on top of each other. It takes both of us out versus one. Mm-hmm. So it's all a game of numbers. These are good questions, guys.
Yeah,
keep
good
them
questions. If the squad leader goes down, who takes control of the squad?
Succession of command is going to be squad leader at the top, and then your alpha team leader is your senior team leader. Your Bravo team leader is your junior team leader. So pretty much what happens, if the squad leader goes down, the alpha team leader takes control. Mm-hmm. If the alpha team leader goes down, the Bravo team leader takes control. If the Bravo team leader goes down, the alpha saw gunner takes control. That guy goes down, pretty much it keeps going like that. Because the saw gunner should be your most senior private or your senior Joe that's not in a team leader spot. Typically, the saw gunner is next in line to take a team.
Okay.
Because it is the most casualty producing weapon. It requires a very common sense thinking individual.
Yeah. Well, let me see if I can't grab a few of these questions, folks. Oh yeah, to avoid this, this guy Zealot's asking who takes control, and then to avoid this, would the squad leader generally shift to the rear as the contact occurs?
Negative.
So
the squad leader. So say we come into contact from the front, right?
Pause and chat right now, folks.
Pause and chat. So if we take contact from the front up here, Alpha team's going to go ahead and move up on line and basically create a base of fire. That squad leader needs to know what the heck is going on, so he's going to push up to Alpha team. Just behind them, maybe what we call a bound. Because when we take contact, we do what's known as a 3 to 5 second rush. Mm-hmm. So that pretty much, I'm up, he sees me, I'm down. Do you remember that?
Yeah, I'm up, he sees me, I'm down.
Yeah, so you're running, and then you hit the ground, start shooting. You get up, you run, hit the ground, start shooting. So the squad leader is going to push just like a bound behind him, behind cover, and he's going to be like, hey, what the heck's happening? And the team leader in charge of everything, controlling his saw, controlling his 320, controlling his entire team's rate of fire, is going to answer and be like, yo, we're taking contact. The 3Ds, remember?
Distance, direction, and description. Okay.
Yeah, so like distance, direction, description. So I'm going to be like, hey, 200 meters, 12 o'clock, 200 meters, 2 packs in the open. right? And then the squad leader knows, and the squad leader is gonna like be looking out in the battlefield. He might get in the fight or not if he's got a good shot, and he's gonna start deciding whether we can just, if it's a small enough force to just wipe him out right there, like bound through, we'll just push that team through. Or if it's a bigger element, we'll go into a battle drill. But typically, react to contact is a battle drill. Okay. It's the first battle drill of all. It is the battle drill of all battle drills, and that's probably what I'm going to go over after this.
All right, cool.
If you all are up for it, am I boring you?
No. How you guys liking this stuff? By the way, hello to everybody that came in. Thanks for all the redemptions, folks. Thanks for the bits and stuff like that. Bon, let's see. If the infantry tactics is different, how does an Army Marine interface when they do? When the consequences or the circumstances lead them to? Is there ever a time when an Army and a Marine unit would cooperate to the extent that they would need to kind of know each other's SOPs?
Yeah, that's the one thing that's a highly debated topic, Redhorn, and I never understood why there isn't a universal way to do this because we both do the same job, and the Marine infantry and the Army infantry, but the way the Marine is set up is pretty different. It's very substantial. Like, I couldn't tell you how a Marine infantry platoon is set up. Yeah. I know that they have entire weapons platoon that, but I couldn't tell you how their infantry squad is set up. It's similar, but it's also different because they have their automatic rifleman uses an M27 IAR, and it's like they also have like a DMR on their team, and they got a little bit more. I think it's like I couldn't even talk about it because I'm not in the Marine Corps, but effectively communicating the circumstances of the battlefield to an adjacent unit, which say you're like in a fight and the Marines are on your channel and they're like, hey, we can help you out. I'm sure just communicating what's going on to them, they can take it and do it the way they do it.
Yeah, they'll come in and they'll start doing their thing, and then if there's good general communication, clear communication with the basics, each team has enough information to kind of do what they do.
That's why clear communication is pretty important.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's a great question, man. Or woman, I'm not sure.
But have you ever played a game like a shooter sim in which people held accurate squad formations for the right reason / context? The only thing I can think of, right? Squad and Insurgency. Yeah. Squad, Insurgency, Arma, those ones are actually designed and reward people that use actually good practical tactics. But let me tell you this, Cameron, you've been into it too. I play Apex quite often, and the principles are the same. The idea is the same, that you must have principles that generally guide any situation as it evolves. They're just different. It's a different set. Like situational awareness always applies moment to moment. Knowing the distance, direction, and description of your enemies as they come in. Knowing the capabilities of each of your squad mates, what they can do, so you can better coordinate your attack. And this all happens like really quickly, and practice. Practicing. I got the Kovac aim. The target practice program. And then you play with friends. That's considered practice, you know what I mean? And you get better as you go. So having a set principles that are there to guide you in any given situation. They may not be the same as like a military kind of thing, but the fact that you have these things that you need to practice it's the same kind of idea, can we talk about, let's see, let me try to catch up, folks. I might skip over a few. Do you guys decide based on the mission what weapons and equipment to bring?
Yes. Yeah. Typically, though, in a platoon, we'll carry all the weapons and equipment necessary. The only thing that'll change is like breaching equipment. But as far as just like your basic service weapons, those will all remain the same. But like medical weapons, we'll universally carry everything because all missions require medical aid. All missions, like I said, the only thing that might be different is like if we need to bring ladders, if we need to bring like a quickie saw, or we need to bring like different types of breaching equipment. But everything else is pretty universally used.
Okay. Is it wise to treat a saw carrier as a person responsible for suppressing fire, or is it better thought to expect that a gunner will produce casualties among the enemies if necessary?
Both.
It's both. You are suppressing them by killing them and or making them not fire at you by making them keep their heads down by keeping a constant rate of fire, or steady rate of fire. This is essentially a live PCFM podcast, folks. Hello to everybody who came in. We're in slow mode right now. We're doing a little a class right now with Cameron. Can shrapnel go further than 5 meters? Is it really localized? Yeah, I can go further. I mean, I can go
real far.
Real far, yeah. That's just that number is what is it? What the deadliest part is within the first 5 meters.
Yeah, so the frag is an explosion, and it's pretty much gonna. Yeah, the frag is an explosion, and it's pretty much gonna create overpressure, and within 5 meters, that overpressure is gonna be great enough to kill a person. The shrapnel can, go all the way up to 15 meters with killing force or injury force. So
thank you, Royal Baron.
So like you have like the frag grenade, the actual body of the M67 will not even evaporate, but it will shrap, right? All that metal of the casing will go every which way, and that's what creates that 15-meter harm zone, because that's where that shrap is coming from.
Mm-hmm. Folks, there's a lot of general questions that if you listen to the podcast and stuff, you'll probably get, if we ever worked with National Forces. Thank you guys for your appreciation, all that kind of stuff. So we're going to kind of skip over kind of the more generalized questions because we're trying to keep it real focused. In fact, we could probably, folks, I'm going to skip down a little bit. All right, you want to get back to it?
Yeah, I'll get back to
folks,
it.
Let's see. How much more you got left in you, man?
I'll do a squad column. I'll go over that, and then we'll go over react to contact, and I think I'll call that a day because that's a lot of information.
That's a lot of information, folks. We're going to do squad column formation, and then we're going to do react to contact battle drill, and then that'll be it for Cameron coming and giving us a class. I really appreciate you being here, man.
Yeah, man, I appreciate y'all listening to this, and I hope you learned something fancy. Yeah. Like I said, if you're just joining us, we're basically discussing basic infantry tactics. All of this information is public access. You can access it in a Ranger School handbook, which is training curriculum 321.76. So if you're ever interested in reading up about this, it can all be found in a Ranger School handbook, which you can buy off Amazon or anything.
Yeah, it's public knowledge, folks. We're not giving away trade secrets.
Yeah, you can find all of this stuff. So we covered.
Gears of War is not realistic.
Yeah, we covered the wedge. Now let's transition over to the squad column wedge. Pretty similar. Terrain dependent, right? Whether I'm going to use a wedge or a squad column.
Is it the same general principles for urban and rural terrain?
Yeah, if you want to I can introduce another formation, which is diamond formation.
How about this? Let's do squad column. Let's do diamond formation. Let's call it a day.
Okay. Yeah, we can do that. Battle drill, react to contact might take me 5 minutes to explain.
Yeah.
But yeah, we can do that, man. I'm just gonna. Hope you guys wrote this down, because it's never coming back.
You're never going to be able to learn this ever again.
Unless you enlist.
Laser Pony, good to see you. We're doing a little class today. How are you?
Okay.
I'll take these teachings and go conquer my local target. Just pick a local target, folks. Gears of War is not realistic. It's all right. 2021. What's the weapon that scares each of you the most? Knives are pretty... I can't imagine what it would be like to get shot, but to be cut with a knife was pretty...
Yeah, that's scary.
Pretty scary. Flamethrowers are pretty scary.
PKMs are scary.
PKMs are scary.
Discos are scary.
Discos. Yeah, any high rate of fire machine gun is gonna be pretty scary.
Okay, so we'll get the diamond.
Mortars and artillery pretty scary too. Look, weapons are scary, guys. I don't want to get shot or blown up or on fire.
Okay, so squad column, right? Real similar to wedge, but this one is typically utilized when we're going down a road or we need to pretty much, we're going down a trail, right? Where we need to maximize fire superiority and open sectors of fire. So if you remember the wedge, you have your team leader in front with your San Grenadier to his left and right, and then off of the Grenadier, the rifleman is wedged. So with this, everyone kind of collapses in and just goes every other. So if we're on a road here, imagine we're traveling down the street. This is typically the formation we'll be in, and it provides the most access of fire because everybody's looking left and right, and these guys are here, and the team leader's looking forward. So now we have 360-degree security, right? So in the front, as always, the alpha team leader is going to be He's going to be in charge of making sure they're going in the right direction. To his right, now this can either be, this is all SOP, right? Standard operating procedures. You can either have your saw to your right or your grenadier to your right. Typically, I put it this way just because I'm like, man, you can switch these up, right? The doctrine is it's common sense.
Yeah.
This is what I like to use. So I like to have my grenadier right here because it'll be easier for the rifleman in case we need to get in a fight for him just to bump out.
Oh, okay.
So the saw so it'll be like the team leader, the grenadier, the saw, the rifleman, and they all just pretty much opposite off each other. And then like in the Wedge, the squad leader's just right behind, and then the Bravo team leader's there, then the grenadier, saw, and rifleman. So we pretty much have the same format from, saw on the left, or saw was on the right last time, but now the saw is on the left up here, but I still have my saw on the right down there. This is also can be configured to where your team leader is in the rear.
In the rear?
Yeah, you can do it that way as well, but this is a pretty straightforward way just because the riflemen are pretty much junior privates, and if they're the last guy in the formation, if something happens, say we take a pause, and then we pick up and he's not paying attention, you might leave that guy. If you don't have a more senior person picking up the rear. And if you're on a reconnaissance patrol, something that's super big is what's called counter reconnaissance or counter tracking. And the team leader, typically like the Bravo assistant team leader, because the recon formation is completely different. Like there's not like a saw gunner, a rifleman, a grenadier. It's like completely different.
Oh wow.
Yeah, so like the team leader will be in the rear with like a bush or like a branch covering the foot tracks.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so the enemy can't track you because if they just track your footsteps, they come right up on you.
Okay.
And then that's what you can do what is known as like a dog leg. But that's a different class. That's a completely different class. But yeah, this one's pretty straightforward, right? We have 360-degree fire. You got a guy in the rear making sure nobody's following it. So that's why you can also put your team leader in this position because he can pull your rear security and he also can maintain accountability of everybody with going here. But then again, if you're in like a platoon size, because this is just a squad, right?
Yeah.
You might have another platoon by here, and then your platoon sergeant has freedom to move anywhere he wants.
He's like the queen on a chessboard.
He's the queen of the chessboard, exactly. So if he wants to move up here and be like, talk to the squad leader as they're walking, then he can be like, oh, go all the way to the rear and be the last man. In Ranger School, when you did this real tough patrol, we were literally walking on the side of a mountain, and the trail was like 3 foot wide.
Wow.
And like if you fell down, you would die. So like we legit were tied to each other in ropes just in case someone fell. And I was the platoon sergeant for that patrol, and I was the last guy, making sure that if somebody passed me, I would pick them up and push them forward.
Okay.
But yeah, so squad, column, fire team, wedge, super easy formation. It's pretty much just everybody's offset off each other, and it's the same format. So team leader, grenadier, saw, rifleman, squad leader, team leader, grenadier, saw, rifleman, and so forth. And this one, like I said before, is utilized when you're like traveling down a road. Now real quick, this one, just going into that real quick formation that I was like, it's super easy to explain.
Yeah.
The file, also known as a ranger file.
Ranger file.
Really terrain, really, what's the word I'm looking for here? Here we go. Here's the TBI kicking in. Restrictive. Really restrictive
okay.
terrain. Like really thick brush. Like you can't get through this. Like you need a dude with a machete to hack through it. You would do what's known as a file. You remember a file?
Yeah, we call it a ranger file.
Yeah. So typically everybody, just like these dots here, everybody just gets in line. And you're walking ducks in a row. This is best used for really restrictive terrain, but it also really condenses down. So say you have a machine gun nest up here, and you come across it, and they just lay fucking, excuse my language, and they
like
just
a bunch
lay,
of stormtroopers.
Yeah, you're just ducks in a row, and any type of machine gun nest that you come across, you're all gonna get hazed down.
Are the two things that you think about are speed and security? Or is that considerations depending on? Well, I guess you say terrain was the most important consideration for which kind of formation you're going to be in.
Yeah, so typically, speed is going to be dictated off your timeline.
Oh, timeline, okay.
So when do I have to hit this target? How long is it going to take me to move? And I usually do 1K every hour.
1K an hour?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, it's slow.
Wow.
So if I backwards plan from that, if I'm coming up with an idea, I always, instead of thinking, okay, how long is it going to take me to make this plan? Okay, 2 hours. Okay, from 2 hours, how long do I think it's going to make me? Instead of going from top to bottom, I go from beginning to end, I go from end to
backwards
beginning.
planning, yeah.
Backwards planning.
If there's one thing I do in my life from the military, It's backwards planning.
Exactly.
I do that all the time.
So, like, say we need to be on target at, like, 1600.
Yep.
And I'm like, how long do I think it's going to take me to move? That's how I'm going to figure out my SP time, which SP is, like, starting point, folks. So, if I know, say it's, like, 4K away, and just to be safe, I give myself 4 hours to do this movement, because a K an hour, right?
Yeah.
So then that way, if I need to be there at 16, I SP at 12.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
And then from there, I'm like, okay, well, if it's, 9 o'clock now, I have from 9-12 to plan, and I typically want to take like an hour to do you want to do a lot of rehearsals, so I'll take like 2 hours. So now from 12 to 10, I have an hour to plan. So like, it goes fast. It goes really fast.
Yeah.
But that's pretty much a file, folks, and that's a squad column wedge. You want me to go into diamond, or you want to take a question real quick?
Let's do some questions. Yeah.
Okay.
Let's do some questions. We might. We got about 25 minutes left before 4 o'clock, so we can probably. Raquel. Yeah. No. This kind of stuff. Yeah, Raquel. If this knowledge is available in books, does that mean the enemy also has access to that material in mind and prove their strategy based on it? I mean, when stuff's publicly available, you got to count on them.
Yeah.
You got to count that they would know it.
I mean, thinking about it, like, just to use an example, if the U.S. or just going against a conventional nation with a conventional military, this is all things they practice, right?
Yeah.
And I mean, this information has been available since this is Vietnam. This is Vietnam tactics. This is what they did in Vietnam. Nothing has changed. Even in World War II, the formations, they haven't changed.
Yeah.
So like, it's been available since back then. It just depends on other countries or the enemy actually grasping, understanding, and applying. Whoop. Sorry. I'm leaning back, folks.
Now lean back.
Yeah, it takes them to actually understand, and apply this stuff. Because, I mean, I could sit here and talk to you guys on a whiteboard all the time. And, I mean, I learn by doing. And one of the hardest things for me when learning this stuff was not just sitting here and doing it on a whiteboard. I actually had to go out and see it done.
Zealot, that's what you were saying. So it's only useful if you drill this over and over. Just reading and listening just does not make you a soldier. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's learning day, dog. Good to see everybody.
Woo!
Sheep, yes, good to see you.
Question times. What do you guys got?
Thank you for the follows, folks. Sorry I'm missing some of them. Collective cheek pinch.
Boop, boop, boop.
How's Cam? Oh, hey Cam, how's the guard life? Been thinking of going to National Guard, even though I know it ain't the same as active duty life. Short round said.
Hey man, National Guard is what it is. I mean, I'm starting to see myself on my way out of it for personal reasons, but I mean, it's good. I enjoyed my time in the Guard. It's just not right for me in my time of my life right now, so I am trying to I'm actively trying to get out. But the National Guard is good. You get great benefits, and once a month. I mean, once a month. Yeah, it's the one thing is when they tell you it's twice. 1 weekend a month, 2 weeks in the summer. That is, boop, boop. Yeah. That is quack.
Yeah, that's a bunch of bull quack.
Yeah, it's a bull quack, man. So it is definitely more than that. But I mean, if you're coming from active duty, it's a nice reminder. That's how I've been able to maintain all this information, is because I explain this every month to brand new guys we get, because everybody's coming and going, because I mean, you're part-time.
Yep.
But it's good for me, because when I teach, I learn as
well. Permission to correct Cam? Yes. On what? It's a lensatic compass, Kill King. That's the compass I used in training. Lensatic compass. Little green fold-out compass. Kilmer, welcome, my friend. Lemon, good to see ya.
Let's see.
Laser Pony says hi.
What's up? Yeah, the use of the V or the Y formation, also known as an echelon, is it's pretty much an upside down wedge. It's not really used a lot. It is in doctrine as an echelon or a V, but yeah, we don't use it. Actually, yeah, the V's upside down is echelon left, and you can also echelon left or echelon right. But I mean, that's some drill stuff, man. That's like more D&C. It's not really the most practical thing. Who wants to correct?
Do most militaries use a lot of the same tactics and mechanics as the U.S.? Like, is it kind of the same but with little adjustments?
Yeah, it's all in principle. It's all pretty much the same. I mean, I've worked with the Italians, the Italian Rangers. I've worked with the Germans. I've worked with the Koreans. Everything that we do is pretty much the same. It all builds out the same principles.
When it comes to a sharpshooter or sniper, would it, you're just like out there, what would be his critical targets? I don't suppose that he would just look for any casualty if he might have a nice range to cover, or shooters probably like to have priorities. I mean, I suppose you're talking about somebody maybe who's pulling security or something like that.
In the world of sniping, you have what's known as targets of opportunity, and you do have them also on the line. So I mean, you have small arms, but you can even consider like an M4 a precision rifle, because technically you have anywhere your effective range is, what is it, 500 meters area. Yeah, so 500 meters point 600 meters area. There we go. Got it.
Nice.
Yeah, so it's 500 meters area. So you can, point. I'm sorry. You can hit with an M4 at 500 meters. You can hit a single target. So typically that would be more. You can consider an M4 a precision weapon. So targets of opportunity, if they pop up, you can take them down. You don't have to wait for like, can I take this? If it falls within your ROE, you can absolutely take that shot. Now snipers can go all the way over. You know, the M110's effective range is 1,100 meters at area, I'm pretty sure, and 1,000 meters point. Mm-hmm. So you're almost hitting someone short of a mile away if you wanted to, in the hands of an experienced individual. So I hope that answers your question.
Yeah. Is there a tactic used when entering a village on foot?
Yeah, all this stuff.
All this stuff. Yeah.
It is. I can go over like an actual like raid, but that's a long
time.
I'm a little hurting on time.
No, let's see. Sorry, Bell Bottoms. We're gonna try to keep up. I'm gonna miss your question. Exploding drones. Something about new drones. The DoD and other countries have. Where they throw it at someone, it'll fly in their face and blow up. I don't know.
I know.
I haven't heard of that.
Overseas, our biggest threats were drones. The ISIS would rig hand grenades and explosives to drones and fly them over positions and drop ordnance.
Just drop them, yeah.
Yeah, that the Ranger platoon that was ahead of us that we took it from. They took 3 casualties because the mortar firing point where they're shooting mortars from, they flew a drone over and dropped a bomb on it. So we had to move the mortar firing point closer to us because it was too far out there.
Aren't a lot of squad tactics derived from German squad tactics from World War II and stormtrooper tactics from World War One? Desert Fox, that's an interesting question.
That is.
What is the name of the department of the Army that is responsible for formulating and formalizing and writing doctrine? Isn't it like TRADOC. Yeah, training, TRADOC.
Yeah.
Yeah. TRADOC is the name of the organization that writes all this stuff down, prints it out in books, and disseminates it,
And they're in charge of all the military schools. So, like, Ranger School is under TRADOC. Airborne School is under TRADOC. All those, like, Air Assault School is under TRADOC. So, they're in charge of the training.
Have you seen this drone, walking, the robot dog? With the,
Awesome.
Yeah, let's see.
AI, it's going to take our jobs.
Druped drone mounted gun. Quadruped drone mounted gun. Yeah, something like this. There you go.
Yeah, I saw that. The thing's crazy. Pretty sure that's Boston Dynamics.
Boston Dynamics.
Yeah, Boston Dynamics came out with the dog robot, and they weaponized it through the Spur. I'm pretty sure.
Good old military weaponizing everything.
Oh yeah.
That's awesome. Well, shoot, Cameron, that's probably all the time you got, man. It's about time. You probably close.
What?
Oh, Bob, I was thinking for the bits, my friend.
I mean, I still got what?
You get 343.
You want to go over Diamond and then I'll call it?
All right, let's.
What do you folks think? You guys want to hear about Diamond?
One more formation, the Diamond formation. We just need Metal Gear.
I like teaching. Okay, I got one. Yes. All right.
Yeah. What? I just don't want you to be late for your girl, man.
Oh, it's fine. She's sleeping.
All right. Oh, okay. She puts in a lot.
Oh, not to mention the hayride got canceled due to weather.
Oh, well, you got time then. All right. Cool. Nice. Yeah. All right, folks. Let's talk about Diamond formation.
All right, Diamond, real quick. Diamond's really down and dirty, man.
Diamonds are forever.
I mean, I wanna.
That's good. It's good for me too, man. I'm glad you're getting some out of it, folks. We did some great. Sarah doesn't want you to go. We got some great episodes coming out, folks. We recorded our Halloween episode. We recorded another veteran style episode. Thank you for the bits, folks. Thanks, Artemis. And we had a veteran. We had a Vietnam veteran, Green Beret, come in and talk. That's gonna be a really good episode. It's gonna come out for
Veterans
Veterans
Day.
Day.
One. It was great.
Yeah, he was fanboying all over the place, man. They did a coin exchange and everything.
Yeah,
Challenge
we
coin
should have
exchange.
got that on camera, man.
I know. We didn't take any pictures, man. I totally forgot.
It's okay.
But
anyways, you guys ready?
Thanks, Artemis.
Okay.
Yeah, let's do one more formation, folks.
Okay. So real quick, in urban terrain, it's kind of hard to dictate a squad formation, right? Typically, in my experience, when moving, down like a city street, we can utilize a squad column wedge. So pretty much that ruck march thing.
Right.
But say we need to go hot and heavy into a building, right? Then
okay.
we need to run and do our explosive breach and get in there and start kicking down the door. You're pretty much gonna see a diamond formation, and this is just at a squad level, right? And usually the squad leader will be a little bit behind. This will just be a 4-man team typically, like this. So team leader up front, saw, grenadier, rifleman in the rear. So now I have literally 360 security, and this is extremely controllable, and it's super quick.
Yeah.
Right. So I can literally team leader. I know where I'm going as long as I got the saw to my right, grenadier to the left, or saw to the left, grenadier to the right, and the rifleman just huffing and puffing, pulling rear.
Mm-hmm.
We should be good, and I can literally run from building to building in this formation, just utilizing this. Or I can do a really condensed wedge, whatever I want to do.
Condensed wedge, okay.
Yeah. So the wedge, and this will be like 5 meters per. I know I said 5 to 10 meters. That's an S, but it's like 5 to 10 meters between persons. Sorry, this is super
S to
messy.
10 meters. S to 10 meters.
S to 10 meters. Sorry, my 5s looks like S's. Sorry. But,
Sorry.
Yeah, 5 to 10 meters between people. I mean, this is supposed to be like we are rocketing towards an objective, right?
Okay.
We're like we have less than 100 meters to sprint.
Okay.
So I'm gonna get in a quick diamond, and then we're just gonna go.
And this would be understood, like, if this happened, like, let's get, and everyone kind of fall in, maybe you've practiced this before?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Like, if we're...
You wouldn't have to say, diamond formation on me, or whatever.
No. And, I mean, you had hand and arm signals, too, and diamond's a little tricky, because, like, I've seen people, draw a diamond for, in the sky.
Mm-hmm.
For a diamond formation, because at nighttime, it's really hard to see... especially at night, hand and arm signals, if I'm trying to communicate with someone and say wedge, and if you guys remember the wedge hand and arm signals like this, that's really hard to see at night.
Yeah.
So there's different hand and arm signals. So at night, wedge would be 2 arms.
Oh, okay.
Because it's really eccentric.
I remember that.
Yeah, and then file would be this. I just hit my cap and do a file. And then squad column fire team wedge would mean I'm just using my hand like this, saying every other.
I remember that. Remember that. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, but I've seen diamond. Diamond's kind of SOP. You don't really need to do a hand and arm signal for that.
Yeah.
Because you can do a really quick condensed. So that's a building. But say there's some trees here, and this is what's known as a LCC.
Mm-hmm.
You remember what that means?
LCC.
Last cover and conceal.
Last cover and conceal.
So we just traveled, we recon. This is a little house with a little door right here on the corner. Literally everybody's pretty much in this last cover and conceal. This is the last position that I can be covered and concealed before I'm out in the open.
Okay.
So I would literally just get in a diamond real quick, out from the brush, moving in this direction, and we could run. Say this was 50 meters, and I'm just booking it in a diamond to that door, and then from here, team leader goes to the door, this guy goes over here, this guy goes over here, and this guy watches the door with the team leader and assists.
Nice.
Yeah, so now I have security on here, and then I could breach this door explosively, and if I want to do that real quick, just put a door, and then team leader would go over here with this guy would go over here with this one, boom, and then we'd all move in.
Collapse in.
Yeah, and establish L shape.
All right, cool. Nice.
Yeah. What time is it, Israel?
I like it, man. It's 3:48. 3:48. Angel, thank you for the follow, my friend. Little cheek pinch for you. Pinch. Shaka. I just felt like instead of metric, we can literally hear the gears inside your head moving cam.
Yeah, I mean, let's see here.
Greatly is metric the past 3 decades. Good to go?
I think I'm good, man.
Did you want to do react to contact?
Yes, I do want to do react to contact.
Folks, react to contact. This is a battle drill.
This is
when you're patrolling and then you meet contact with the enemy, right?
This is the meat and potatoes, folks.
All right,
This is what's actually happening.
All right.
And so react to contract battle drill 3.
Mm-hmm.
So because there's a lot of battle drills, folks. I believe there's 8 doctrine battle drills.
Doctrine battle drills that cover. Do they kind of cover the breadth of situations generally that you might encounter in any? Do they kind of everything that you would encounter in the patrol generally falls into one of these categories?
And correction, I think React to Contract's battle drill 2, because battle drill 1 is squad attack or 1 alpha squad attack. Then it goes react to contact, break contact. It goes.
All right,
reacting to ambush near or far. Enter, knock out a bunker, enter building, clear a room, and then you got knock out a trench, and then breach a mind wire obstacle.
Yeah, conduct platoon attack, break contact, react to ambush, knock out bunkers, enter and clear a building. Enter and clear a building.
And then it should be knock out a trench and knock out a mind wire obstacle.
Yeah, clear a trench and then conduct initial breach of a mind obstacle.
Yep.
Okay,
that one's fun. That's so we can go over that. But anyways, folks, so here we go.
Dumb the glass.
Here we go.
All right.
I got individual right there, and he's got big scary gun. All right.
It's a scary gun.
So we are moving in a fire team wedge, right? So we got this guy here, this guy there, this guy there, this guy there. So what happens? Boom, we get in contact. Everybody run for their lives. No, we're going to finish this fight, right?
We've practiced this before.
Right, so we come into contact, just like we talked about in the beginning. We're going to yell out what?
3Ds, distance, direction, description.
But first, we're going to return fire. We're going to boom, 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 make that guy regret ever shooting at us. And then we're going to yell out 3Ds while simultaneously moving online. So, this is what's going to happen. Everybody, while firing, yelling out the 3Ds, is going to get on a line. Now, in real life, this is all terrain depicted, so it could be like a lazy line. But as long as we're generally online, that's what we're looking for. And you got your saw gunner here, you got your team leader, your grenadier, and the rifleman. The team leader is going to start doing what's called rates of fire, and I'm not going to go into the meat and potatoes about there because there's like sustained rate of fire, there's rapid rate of fire, there's cyclic rate of fire, and those are all like math equation things. Not really. Not really. If you want to get into it, it's like, okay, if I'm doing a sustained rate of fire, it's every 5 seconds you're shooting 2 to 5 rounds. If you're in rapid, you're shooting 3 to 5 rounds every 3 seconds. So so you need to know these time cues.
You kind of get it, like you practice that and you kind of know.
Oh yeah, you know, absolutely.
Okay, cool.
So pretty much we're all shooting at this point. Now the team leader needs to gain control. He needs to gain fire control.
Fire superiority or fire?
Well, so initially we gain fire superiority. We do like a mad minute, right? Right when we get in contact, bang, 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 everybody's shooting. Now to conserve ammo, we're gonna do what's known as talking the guns.
Yes.
And this is extremely important because this allows us to basically make a constant rate of fire without everybody shooting at once. So like for example, the team leader would be like rapid rate of fire, rapid rate of fire. Everybody echoes and then one person shoots at a time. So if we're on rapid, saw gunner is gonna shoot, bang, 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 bang. We're gonna count to 3, 1,000, 2,000, 3,000. Team leader shoots, bang, 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 bang. 1,000, 2,000, 3,000. Grenadier shoots, bang, 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 bang. And we can do this all day as long as we have the ammo for it, right? And we're starting to we're saving ammo, and we're still laying down pretty constant rate of fire on the enemy, right?
Yep.
And if things get, hairy, I can call mass fires and everybody shoots again. And then as a team leader, I'm controlling this. And by doing this, one person can reload and someone else is shooting. We're not all just like shooting at the same time and then everybody's guns go down and it's just dry, So like if the saw gunner goes cold and he runs out of ammo, like mid shoot, the team leader can pick it up. Boom, boom, boom. So then, when we're at this point, we're all laying down hate. Squad leader is going to move up. He's going to be like, hey, what the heck is happening up here? And he's like, hey, 3D's relay. And then, basically, he's like, oh, we're getting hit from 12 o'clock, 200 meters, one pack in the open. Or say there's more guys, and they want to fight this guy. These guys will stay in a rate of fire. Squad leader will go back to the Bravo team and be like, hey, we're going to flank.
Okay.
And that is a different battle drill.
So that's just one battle drill. And then
React to contact is the basis for every battle drill. Oh. This will always happen. So from this point, we basically establish a base of fire. We establish rates of fire. We get the guns talking. The squad leader moves up, does his assessment. And once the squad leader comes to a decision, that's when another battle drill takes over.
Nice.
Here we go, folks.
Cameron, I feel the gears turning once again in my military brain. There's the little things starting to come back to me. That was awesome, folks. Folks, what did you think? Did you enjoy that little military class? I hope you did.
Basics.
Real basics.
Real basics, and like everything you're asking about, like if we have like a sniper attached or where did the machine guns come, they're all gonna be added to that line eventually. Like I've been on a support by fire line with a 240, with our sniper team, with our anti-tank team, and we're all online talking the guns, shooting while another element is moving around.
Nice.
So like that base of fire is extremely important. Excuse me, coffee's coming up.
That's all right. We had lunch today, and then we had some coffee to kind of wake us up for the stream today.
Yes.
Does Cameron have a Twitch channel? He does not.
I do not.
Cameron's got a lot of stuff to do.
I exclusively stream with Israel.
This is exclusive content. You can only see Cameron here.
Yes.
And then also on the Gamology videos.
Absolutely, if you want that.
But if you want to interact with Cameron in real time, only on my channel.
Only here.
I'm gonna copyright it. Yeah.
Yeah, he owns me. It's on contract.
That's right. He sleeps in a little closet right over there. You know.
Absolutely. Well, guys, I really appreciate you taking the time to listen to me babble about basic Army stuff.
Cameron, this was super helpful. I really genuinely appreciate it, and there's more to come. I'm definitely gonna be I'm gonna be coming after you and your whiteboard.
Okay.
For more knowledge.
It's okay, man. This is folks. This is literally like 0.5% of what there is to know out there in basic infantry tactics. So we can make this a segment if you guys want, and I come in and teach like something every now and then.
Once a month, yeah. Once every month. Yeah, folks. I appreciate you all hanging out. I hope you got something out of this. Folks, let's do this. Let's take a quick break. Let's do Agree RB. You can hang out with Chair for a little bit. I'm going to say goodbye to Cam. We're going to rearrange some stuff in here, and I will be right back, folks.
Thank you.
Basic hand signals. Hand signals, is that all SOP?
Yeah. Basic hand signals. That's for next time.
Yeah, I'm going to leave them hanging. Always leave them wanting more, folks. Folks, I'm going to move this real quick, but we're officially on a break right now. I'm not going to interact with any of you. No interacting with chat. Ignore them. Don't look at them. Don't look. Don't look at chat. DCU pants, that's right.
Oh yeah. Keeping it old school.
Feet, foot, TOS. Look at me, I'm doing a thing. No, I'm not. No, I'm not going to look. No, I'm not looking. Not looking. La 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 la.
Later, folks.